it is still to reinvent itself as a big league tourist spot.
عدة أنواع تجارة داخل مدينة غرامس. التجارة من إفريقيا من الشمال للجنوب، من إفريقيا إلى أوروبا أو الدول العربية في الشمال، من جنوب إلى الشمال. تأتي البضاعة من الشمال للجنوب ومن جنوب للشمال عكس. والحاجات اللي الاستراتيجية اللي هي الجلود والنحاس وريش النعام والذهب وعدة حاجات، يعني هذه حاجات رئيسية. واستمرت مدينة غرامس من كثرة تجارة الجلود من جنوب للشمال حتى سميت مدينة الجلود في سنوات يعني.
We're all one family, like aunts and uncles. It's more like a family trip, not for a holy relation or something like that. We're just interested to see Gadames. We like it. Honestly, I feel proud. I'm a Libyan to see something like this. I haven't seen something around the world before like Gadames, so when I come here and I see people like you come from around the world, so I feel so proud.
Still, I'd hate the same fate to befall Tripoli's old town. It's not just in the Sahara that Libya's history provides the template for the kind of trade and commerce that modern Libyans seem to do best.
Just putting things into context, the relationship that this country has historically to the region and perhaps the immediate Mediterranean basin.
Libya is a very large country that harbors a tremendous richness in cultural property and cultural heritage. We have more Roman and more Greek sites than the actual Romans and the Greeks.
Libya possesses some of the greatest Roman sites in the world. The Mediterranean city of Laptis Magna, just an hour along the coast from Tripoli, is still a remarkably modern blueprint to build on.
We always have played a major role between the north and south as traders and middlemen, and that's the role we excelled throughout history. And so that's what I told my superiors, and that we cannot compete with textiles with China, for instance, or we cannot compete with electronics with Japan. And well, this is inconceivable. But we can be in a better position as middlemen between sub-Saharan Africa and Europe, and between East and West.
Where exactly Libya sits in the world, where its main allegiances lie, are questions that still puzzle outsiders.
We are a small economy after all. We are not the big economy that many people believe, Libyans or non-Libyans believe it to be. We are not the gate to Africa that we tend to portray ourselves. London is nearer to us than N'Djamena, air miles wise. So at least to load from here to North Europe or to the UK, there is a sea of water. To load from here to N'Djamena, there is a sea of sand.
Is it an explosion in Libya at the moment, or are you on a gradual, controlled slope? Where are we right now in Libya?
I think Libya is really evolving rather than exploding. The chemistry around its economic and economic policies are not really allowing it to explode. In the past, the private sector was really competing with the government at two different gear levels. Nowadays, there is only one gear, whether this is private or public. They are competing on equal level.
Global politics have put Libya in play again, and the effects are visible on the streets and in the shops.
We passed through 10 years of sanction. No flying. People, they travel by cars around from east to west, Egypt or Tunisia. And we suffered a lot, really. And now we are open to the world. And I think we are friends with British. This is the latest speech of Gaddafi. He said, my best friend is Blair, whether you like her or not, but depends.
Socialism and sanctions put the brakes on the retail sector here, but the last 18 months have seen stunning change. As well as bustling, well-stocked markets and small shops, Libya is beginning to introduce supermarkets and the occasional department store. But shopping here is still a very sociable activity, an opportunity to meet friends. The alienation of the hypermarket or mall shopping hasn't arrived here yet.
السوق هذا أجمل ما فيه، موجود فيه بضاعة، طلباتي موجودة. طبعا كل ما زاد الاقتصاد وتيسرت الحالة بدا الواحد أرقى وافضل. وهنا أصحابي كلهم أصحابي، طالما أنا ليبي كلهم أصحابي.
So far, though, the popularity of supermarkets hasn't dented small retail business. In fact, it's booming. Carl Reuter is a Tripoli-based diplomat who heads up the British Council here.
What I've seen is the emergence of a vibrant, ground-up, organically growing private sector, which manifests itself by what you see on the streets, all these little shops that open and close. There's a kind of turnover of businesses, there's new businesses coming along, businesses with things in the shops that you never saw when you first got here, and it's exciting and fizzing and bubbling.
Is this new culture of the shopkeeper truly organic? And would you say that one week they might be running a crepe shop, the next week they decide it's not working and they're selling Belgian chocolates?
Yeah, I don't think they're actually planning that far ahead. I think what they're actually doing is setting up a crepe shop and then seeing how it works and having a very realistic view of whether it's got potential. And they fly it as a kite, and if it's not reaching a couple of 100 feet very quickly, they'll think of something else. And you've hit the nail on the head when you talk about the family, because what's actually happening is that all of these new little micro-enterprises are opening with minimal capital. I mean, with no credit facilities, no collateral to borrow against. It's little pockets of money kept in Tupperwares in somebody's kitchen. And there may be 40, 50, 60 people from an extended family who are invested. No structures, no agreements, no paperwork. It's all done on a handshake. It's all done on family honor. And if it flies, it flies. If it doesn't fly, it doesn't fly. Then they'll try something else.
Yeah, the way of buying is different. If you like something, you buy a lot. That's different. You don't really look for the extreme quality, but you like the quantity. Big houses, and big roads, big everything. Here in Libya, we buy bread by 20. Or the minimum is 5 loaves of bread. If, for instance, in England or in France, they see somebody coming out of a bakery with 20 pieces of bread, they will say, oh, they're starving, or they have a huge family or something like this. So, yeah, the view is different.
Excuse me, sir, I'm just a little intrigued. Why do Libyans buy so much bread? Because every store we go into, everyone's got at least 5 bags of bread.
I know it's in my case, it's for 2 families,
2 families?
Yes, my father's house and my own family,
Do you think Libyans are going to continue shopping like this, going to individual stores as opposed to going to, let's say, a big supermarket? Do you think this tradition continues?
Yes, it will be, it cannot be changed in the near future, because people like it, and they get to the bakery every day, to buy bread for their meals.
The really interesting thing about the Libyan consumer experience is that while the north side of the Mediterranean might be under threat of being dominated by a clutch full of brands, small business is actually just blooming in this country, and I don't think that we're going to see Walmarts or Tesco's or any big brands here anytime soon. I don't want to say it's a good thing, but what the hell, I will anyway.
The abundance of fresh, unprocessed food here is striking, and the variety of what's on sale is evidence of Libya's retail vitality. As well as everyday shopping here, there's the odd luxury item too, like this Belgian chocolate store run by Ibtisham Benamir.